There's got to be something new that comes as a result of the cycle of transformation. Ooh. Wearing these masks is something else, isn't it? I mean, I'm grateful to definitely be safe and be in a healthy place, but I've been wearing this all day. It's like recycling my same air, but we got to make sure we're safe, right? All right, so I want to share something about transformation because we're all going through it right now. We're all experiencing this transformation because of different quarantine concerns, pandemics, things like that. And it's important that when you experience transformation, that you come up with a new purpose. There's got to be something new that comes as a result of the cycle of transformation. We're all experiencing it. And so it just makes sense for us to say, you know what new purpose am I going to disclose or unveil because of what I'm experiencing right now? So it's been a hot day, back and forth on calls, walking in and out of airports, traveling. Now we're here to get set up to do some sessions and start helping people relate to the understanding of change and transformation. So I want to just take a few moments to share with you some ideas that are in my book, but also some ideas that just recently came to me as I was in traveling. And it's really about how change or transformation establishes a new purpose. And I want to share that with you today. One of the key things I've learned about treasure is that treasure is to be discovered, right? When you're on a path of looking for something that's valuable, the first thing about that treasure is recognizing that treasures are all covered. And you are a treasure. Your life is a treasure. The talent that you have, the abilities that you have, the family dynamics that you come from, it is still treasure. Now you might say to me, hey Patrick, there's a lot that I'm experiencing right now. There's a lot of grief, there's a lot of loss. I've had a lot of struggles, but that does not diminish your treasure. It doesn't diminish your treasure. All it simply does is say that if I'm experiencing transformation and change right now, there's a new purpose of self-expression and awareness that I now need to be able to possess. And the key thing about treasure is that treasure is valuable to its owner. It can be buried, it can be covered. And one thing about treasure is that treasure is first covered. Treasure is covered. So I want you to see your life as treasure, right? Think about this. I don't know if you remember Raiders of the Lost Ark, or that's an old film, or other types of different films that deal with finding treasure and how important it is for us to pursue it. But the first principle about treasure is recognizing that it is covered. In other words, sometimes people just don't see the treasure. And so it requires mapping, it requires the right tools, it requires that you go pursue it, it requires that you go look for it. And it's the same thing about your life. Think about the fact that you are treasure. You may be covered or unseen by others, but it does not mean that that diminishes your value just because others don't see you. Just because others don't recognize what you possess does not mean that the treasure is any less valuable. Now, I find it interesting that when we start looking at the importance of our treasure and we recognize that, yes, I've been covered, maybe people may not see the realities of what I have inside of me, but it's also important for us to understand that when treasure is covered, that means that that treasure needs to be pursued. That means what's inside of you needs to be pursued. So if there's any type of system, institution, a body of thought, a government system, any entity that restricts you from that pursuit, we must dismantle those types of infrastructures. We must make sure that, hey, this person, this individual, this particular belief system, this ideology is stopping me from going to find out the treasure that's been covered. And it's like having unclaimed funds that you didn't even know that you had. And you've had these unclaimed funds, but now I'm in a place where I realize I should have it. And when you awaken to that, then you go about filling out the necessary documents to access it and obtain it. It's the same thing about the treasure that you are. You are treasure. And it's important that we understand that treasures are covered. Now, when you cover something, it's like putting a lid on it. It's like putting a lid on it. And having a lid on treasure means that it's been protected, It's been perhaps underwater. It's maybe been buried for many years. And the goal is perhaps that so people won't find it, or that the goal of that being covered is so that others can pursue it. Now think about how people maybe didn't notice who you were. You weren't picked for a team. You weren't given an opportunity for a promotion. Maybe those doors were closed so you can have self-recognition of what's already there. Perhaps this is the time for you to expand your capacities without even moving to a next level, because maybe you didn't explore everything at the current level that you're in. I've dealt with that before. It's like, man, this door is closed. I'm not in it. The opportunity is closed. But you know what? I began to look inside, and there were aspects of my being and my talent that I didn't know was there until I started looking and investing in it. Self-investment happens when I realize that the treasure of who I am is covered. And so sometimes we begin to look for it, and we begin to realize how important it is that I've been designated to grow.